AleSmith Brew coming at you with a beer review. It is March 3rd, but a beautiful day here in Oregon. It is 61 degrees right now. The sun was out a moment ago, but you know, I'll just take it. I'm in short sleeve weather here. Just enjoying this. So what have we got? We've got a beer that's a few weeks past its prime date. It is My Bloody Valentine from AleSmith Brewing out of Southern Cal. You know, out of San Diego area. AleSmith puts out some wonderful stuff. I really like their IPA. Man, that's a beauty when you get that one fresh. And I've heard about this one. This is an interesting mix. It's an amber ale. Some actually call it a red ale because it has the red hues to it. So I'm really curious. I know it's going to have some chocolate and hop kick, but that's about all I know. It is 6.66% ABV. So a little tongue-in-cheek there with that Bloody Valentine and the reference to 666. I don't believe it's named after the movie. I believe that it's named more after the alternative rock group. And the IBUs on this is 24. So, boy, I'm just really curious to see how this one comes out. Let's get this cracked open. I'm going to go ahead and get the pour because I'm just curious about this color. Well, now this is not so red as what I've heard, and that may have changed. This had a bottling date of December 1st, actually. So it's right at about 3 months. But wow, okay, you get some slight red hues, and it's really more towards a medium brown kind of color, honestly, for me, and a khaki head, a light khaki head. So let's get the nose. Oh, but there's no doubt that this was a nice hoppy mistress when it was first bottled, I'll tell you that. Oh, yeah, I'm getting some great, first thing I got was a little grapefruit, but what I really got this time now was more of an orange, and more of almost like a candied orange type aroma, maybe a hint of lemon on there, but definitely a lot of citrus character. And then there's some darker stuff on there. Yeah, it's like it's not real strong, but you get a little bit of a chocolate. So you got that orange chocolate type thing going on, which is just lovely, and definitely get some caramel coming through, which you've got to dig that. A hint of some toasted malts on there. But yeah, this almost marmalade-y orange kind of a aroma on that. So that's quite inviting. So cheers, we're gonna dive in. Well, this reminds me of a beer. I'm gonna have to work on it. Right up front it does. Wow, though now it has quickly changed. So it starts off with this orange sickle, almost kind of a taste, like that orange on a vanilla popsicle. So orange sickle taste, but now it quickly shifts because it is 3 months out to some really earthy type hops and a little bit of resinousness even. But you get this light chocolate coming through, and the caramel's not real strong. So light caramel and a light chocolate. It's almost like you've got a kind of juicy West Coast IPA where they've added some chocolate and a bit of crystal malts to get the caramel malt flavor going. Yeah, and some of those hops having gone towards that more earthy kind of direction. That's a fun beer. It's an interesting beer. You get some other fruits on there, not real strong, maybe like even a hint of raisin on it. This is definitely really unique. So I'm going to take a little time with this and I'll be back. What an interesting beer. It really is an amber ale. As you taste it, it really is. It's not super hoppy like an IPA, although I bet you fresh that it had a beautiful kick. But yeah, the base taste is more of an amber. It's just you got a little bit of that chocolate. There's a little bit of biscuit malt coming through as well, which is nice. And the chocolate on it, it's real low, but it's kind of a bitter chocolate to like a light cocoa type flavor. And other than that, orange flavors that come through as it's starting to warm, the earthiness, those earthy hops are starting to dominate more. But I'm certain there was a lot of citrus, maybe some grapefruit, and quite a bit of orange originally. But that combination of that little bit of chocolate with that orange that's always a really nice mix on the beer. In terms of ratings, I mean, I guess you've got to go with amber. That's kind of tough. It's not a classic amber. This is a creative beer. I can't rate it super high in terms of amber ales, and yet not too low because it's very pleasing. I'm going to give this, in terms of amber ales, an 86. It's definitely a creative one and really pleasurable. I do like their IPA much better. Their fresh IPA is exquisite. But I'm really liking this. I'm kind of hedging them. I'm bordering. I think this is kind of the top of that B+ category. It's a really good beer. I'm pushing on a 90, but I'm going to give it an 89. Definitely a fun one to try. I will definitely have to get this fresh next year. But you know what? This is still worth picking up if it's on the shelves. So here's again. It's from AleSmith Brewing Company out of the San Diego area. It's a beautiful little beer. They make some good stuff. It's worth checking out their beer, especially their IPA. Just one I do love. But this is the My Bloody Valentine. Not after the movie again, after the music group. I'm fairly certain. But this is Kevin at Clements Homebrew saying life's too short to drink cheap beer. And I'll see you in the next beer review.